Yari books? How could you tell? To be or not to be? That is the question. I think it was the great Nicki Minaj who once uttered these words when she invented the art of writing in the ancient year of 1975. Or it might have been some other guy, I actually don't know. Anyways, imagine Miss Minaj's elation if she found out that Gen Z has developed a passion for reading again. And now imagine the immediate disappointment when you find out that this is the stuff that they've been reading.
Hey, squirrel friend!
Welcome back to Eternally Online, the place that you found because you are chronically online. Happy Pride Month, everybody! What better way for me to celebrate than swallow my own pride and make a video about book talk? I've seen some other YouTubers make interesting videos about this, and now I'm making my own for view. To provide an insightful and educative commentary on what might be TikTok's most controversial community. But also for the views, my fucking god. If you don't know what BookTok is, I'm surprised that you've lasted this long on the internet without knowing. I don't even know how you got here, but please stick around so I can get that sweet ad revenue. Just kidding, I'm not monetized yet. You fought bravely, soldier, but your innocence won't last beyond these points. I'm kidding, it's not all that bad. For now. BookTok is a thriving community on TikTok whose concept is as simple as talking about books. It's actually a pretty wholesome community. Creators and commenters recommend each other their favorite books to read. There's community initiatives encouraging people to get into the hobby of reading. And it allows people to express themselves with different forms of creativity. Not that bad, right? So what's the issue? It's not like we have an entire video left. Well, just as I was about to wrap up my research because I sincerely didn't think I'd find anything to talk about, I was hit with a video on my FYP and I think it's better if I just show you. Oh yeah, from this point out, a huge trigger warning for sexual assault and domestic violence, so if that's not your thing, you can click off. It's okay. I'm not sure what is even happening in this video. Is Girly getting abducted by aliens? And FYI, this entire profile is just dedicated to these masked guys terrorizing the shit out of this one specific lady in her home. Like, is she okay? Free this woman from these shitty TikToks. Now you might be asking me, Eternal, this is just a random video. What does this have to do with book talk? Oh my sweet summer child. You'd be right. I didn't think this video had shit to do with book talk until I checked the description and saw the hashtags dark romance and spicy book talk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I fell down the rabbit hole of dark romance book talk. Dark romance is a subgenre of romance books that tend to explore darker themes, some of which border on very illegal stuff. They're also weirdly obsessed with mafia bosses, werewolves, vampires, and bikers? Hey, I get it. The one-eyed snakes from Bob's Burgers really get me going too. I mean, let's just take a look at what this side of book talk has to offer, shall we? POV. The villain caught you, but it's dark romance. You know, I feel like if you're being chased by some killer guy and that is the best place you can think of to hide, you kinda deserve it. He kidnaps her, but realizes she doesn't eat enough. So he cooks her favorite meals and eats them with her. Are we gonna ignore the kidnapping part? Hey, I brought you some dinner. Oh my god, thank you, you're so thoughtful. Yeah. Now get back in your handcuffs or else you bitch. When he puts a inside you that he can control, then tells you to dance for him. Genuinely, what do you want me to realistically say to this? Is there any insight that I can add? Are there even words in the English language that are able to describe my thoughts after watching this video? No, but there are in Russian. When he puts a toy in you and tells you to run, he looks up and smirks at you as he sets the vibration to high so you can barely stand. Run. Why are all of these TikToks so obsessed with vibrators? Like, am I missing something? Is this a thing that happens commonly to women in real life? Oh god, the bees are coming. I'm not sure if I can even show this stuff without having my channel terminated. What will my 5 subscribers do without me? Something about this doesn't sit right with me.
Not funny, haha. Funny, weird.
You and me, we're both weirded out, right? And we're both noticing these TikToks getting more unhinged as we go along. And we see a theme, right? All these TikToks and stories involve a woman's agency being taken away and abused by a man, but in a sexy way. If you pay close attention, well, not really if you pay attention, it's just blatantly fucking obvious, you'll notice that these dark romance TikToks always involve the same premise. It's a small, helpless, dainty woman at the mercy of a big, strong man, threatening her, stalking her, basically doing everything that would frighten a woman out of her life in reality. And then usually with the implication that the woman in these stories will either get physically hurt or sexually assaulted. And that is where my issue with these TikToks come in. These TikToks and the books that these TikToks are based on not only blatantly romanticize unhealthy relationship dynamics, they go as far as to romanticize literal criminal behavior. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to write about these themes in a book. The opposite, actually. Fiction allows us to safely explore taboo themes in a way that we can't really do in real life. Just because I watch a superhero movie doesn't mean that I want to see New York and all its citizens be blown to smithereens by aliens. I want that to happen to the British instead. Especially in writing, there are countless of instances of authors writing about traumatic events that happened in their life and helping them heal from it. It can be a really powerful tool to process things and grow by connecting it to your real life. But this is not that. And how do I know? Because look at all of these TikToks sensationalizing these heavy topics in a way that anybody who has experienced or anybody close to these events would never in their right mind do. The trigger warnings that they put in front of these books are almost used like an advertisement by these influencers. While they present it as a warning, you can see how people in the comments glamorize it, presenting it as almost something to draw you in.
I feel like if a book starts with a 2-page trigger warning list and ends that list with the quote, "Your mental health matters," sign me the fuck.
Side eye.
They're really no different from those edgy teenage boys who choose to play their video games based on how gory they are. Yes, download generic war game number 96 right now. We have war crimes like you've never seen them before. We have death, decapitation, bludgeoning, and most important of all, child murder. For legal reasons, that was a joke, YouTube. I do not condone child murder, even in fiction. Don't demonetize me. You're trapped in the last book you read. How screwed are you? The last book I read. Oh shit. A pretty basic bottom line as an author is that you need a story to tell. I'm not saying that it always needs to be some deep critique on society, but a well-crafted and satisfying story is the bare minimum that you'd expect. Here though, it's a bit of a different story. Haha, get it? Story. Most of these books that people recommend and share excerpts of strike me as if the writer thought of a few smut scenes in their head and tried their best to milk an entire book of the little content that they had to begin with. No deeper meaning, no character motivations, it's just something you read to get to the preview that was advertised to you on social media. It's porn with plot. At that point, why even buy these books at all if they basically dump the only worthwhile parts of them on TikTok for free anyway? I find it hard to imagine that an author wrote the umpteenth novel about biker gang sex because they just have such a pressing desire to share their profound art with the world. And if a reader's first instinct when they see a book that contains probably the darkest and most traumatic things that can happen to a person is to ask if it is quote unquote spicy, Are you really surprised that I think that way? I don't know, maybe I'm being a little harsh. I mean, I've never read any of these books in full. Who do you think I am? A channel with integrity? Just kidding, I swear I do my research before making a video. And hey, there's definitely space for those types of works in any medium, but let's just get a little bit more creative with it. Why are sexy aliens never involved? Are you guys speciest? Books so dark, the author says not to read them. Wait, books that the author tells me not to read? Hey, it's been so long since I last saw you. How have you been? Yeah, I'm doing good. I finally got my video out last night for like 3 weeks of working on it, so yeah. Oh, cool. Can I see it? No. What? But, you really think I put videos out because I want people to watch them? I mean, yeah, like, do you think you're too good to have people watch your videos, or? It's okay, you wouldn't get it. Oh, by the way, all the books in that video are just non-con. Personal opinion incoming. Quick, everybody hide! But seriously, everything that we've just seen is gross, and it makes me morally question these people. Just a little bit. No, it is not inherently wrong for someone to seek out this kind of content. But based on everything we've looked at, it's clear that some people use these books to live out some strange, glamorized fantasies of traumatic, and in some cases even deadly situations. If you are someone who actively glamorizes domestic violence, and especially sexual violence, and then proceed to promote it on social media instead of just silently reading it and moving along, that's where I start to think you're a bad person. And not even to mention, with the unrestricted access that impressionable kids have to TikTok nowadays, I don't doubt that a lot of them come across this content and think that this romanticization of abuse is something that they have to desire or even aspire towards. And I really don't want to think about all the dangerous and fucked up situations that could lead to. And not to be all, oh, TikTok is corrupting the youth. But yeah, no, I think this kind of is. To be very fair, I was reading a lot more effed up shit on sites like AO3 back in the day. But the difference is, those authors were not taking these very real and traumatic experiences that people go through, and not only romanticizing it, but monetizing it. Yes, keep in mind that these dark romance authors are making a living off of glamorizing these things that still too many people go through every day. That's just a whole different level of ick. You know, call me the friend who's too woke, but when I have the constant thought in the back of my mind that sexual violence against women is getting worse and worse by the day, I really don't have the patience for somebody to scream in my face about, oh my gosh, I just wish that I got like violated by a dude, it would be so hot. And it's not just women going through it, anybody can be a victim of these things, because it is still such a widespread problem in our society. These are topics that, in my opinion, if you do not have the necessary respect, or at least tact to write about these things in an appropriate manner, you just do not mess with it. Because it's only going to make the way that society deals, or more accurately doesn't deal with these issues, worse. And that is not going to benefit anybody but the abusers in question. I think I'm gonna end it here. I really wasn't planning for this video to take such a serious turn in the end, but I do think that it's a dialogue that should be openly discussed and dissected. And hey, as much as I'd like to think I am, I'm not some all-knowing guru whose opinion is always right. So definitely let me know your opinion about this in the comments section. I'd love to hear what everyone has to say. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe so that I can continue to grow my own empire, and we will become the next trendy community on TikTok, named Eternally Online Talk. That's all I had to say, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!